In this video, we're going to be discussing a little bit about HESI. The HESI Math Exam is a preparatory test for those who wish to qualify for nursing and surgical tech programs. Essentially, it's just basic math that usually covers things like Roman numerals, military time, adding, subtracting fractions, ratios, percentages, decimals, and conversions. Typically, I've noticed that fractions tend to be the most confusing section, and I want this video to go over a little bit about fractions and the operations of fractions. So as you know, fractions are essentially parts of a whole. So the numerator, or broken down as the numerator divided by the denominator. The numerator will represent our part. The denominator will represent our whole, or our total. So for example, if we have a candy bar, and it's broken into 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pieces, my denominator will be 10. But say I take 3 pieces. Therefore, the pieces that are removed or shaded would be 3/10 shaded. So, what about the fraction that isn't shaded? So you have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7. So we have 7/10 that is not shaded. If we were to add these together, we would get the total amount of the bar. Now, let's talk about the types of fractions you will see on the HESI exam. So on the HESI, there are 3 types of forms that you will see for a fraction. So the first form is the most common type, and that is called the proper form. So say, for example, you have a fraction a over b. This just means that a is less than b. So for example, 3/5 is known as a proper fraction because my numerator 3 is less than 5. Now, the second type is called the improper form of a fraction. And again, say you have a over b, but in this case, a is greater than or equal to b. So for example, 7/4 is improper. And the reason is my numerator, 7, is greater than or equal to my denominator, 4. It's called improper because typically fractions should have the numerator be less than the denominator, but improper fractions are typically used for calculations. The third type, and this is the most common type you will see on a HESI, is called the mixed number. So the mixed number is essentially a whole number, and I'm going to call that c attached to a fraction a over b, or we would write it as c a over b. So where c is a whole number and our fraction is proper. So these are the 3 main types of fractions we will go over in this video. So let's do an example. And we're going to first go over identifying what type of fraction each, or the types of fractions they are. So say we have, for example, 12/5, 6 over 7, 2, and 1/6. So looking at my first example, 12 over 5, we can see that this is an improper fraction. Why? Well, because our numerator is greater than or equal to our denominator. As you can see, 12 is greater than 5. Let's look at our second example. We have 6 over 7. We would classify this as a proper fraction. As fractions, so because our numerator is less than our denominator. And finally, we have here a mixed fraction or a mixed number. Now, a mixed number is just a whole number with a proper fraction. And as you see, my whole number is the 2, and my proper fraction is the 1 over 6, and it's proper because my numerator 1 is less than 6. So this is all I have for today's video, and we will continue on in our next video how to turn improper fractions to mixed numbers and vice versa.